Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the program. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania on Sunday, May 31st, 2026, with my guest, Shannon, who is a recent arrival from South Africa. She lives in Iowa, and I used to live in Iowa a long time ago. Shannon, welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you.
So, your dad offered you up as an interviewee. Wasn't that nice of him?
It was so nice of him. I really appreciate it.
So I take you still have a good relationship with your father after that?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely I do.
Sorry, I'm just trying to change my background here because I realized that it's kind of busy. So there we go. All right, that's a little bit better. There we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your experience here. Okay, look, I mean, you don't usually ask a lady her age and things like that, but you don't look a day over 16, so I'm trying to figure out how it is you're on your own.
I'm 23 years old. Let's start with that.
Okay.
So basically how it all happened is me, my mother, and my grandmother, we all applied at the same time, but at one of the interviews, when they asked us if we want to all apply together or do we want to do our separate cases, I was like, I'll do it myself. Why not?
And as a consequence, you wound up here. Now, was your case also linked to your father?
No, it wasn't. They applied later on, a little bit like a week after I did.
Okay, so I thought all along that the program screwed up and put your dad out in California and you in Iowa, almost as if they were being spiteful, but they didn't link their case. You were already here. You're already in the program.
Yes.
Okay, so let's run through some of the things we always ask of guests. Let me run through the list of questions and you can answer them. When did you first apply? Was it first show interest? Was it PRM email, statement of interest, intake questionnaire, and when was the first time you heard from somebody?
Okay, so it was way back in May, actually before that, when my mother is a big follower of yours, and that's how we found out about the program. There was rumors about the program being active and ongoing, but it was just rumored. We didn't know if it was actually happening or not. And then my mother was watching your videos, and then she found out, okay, well, this thing is real. So we went to go to the website, and then we just decided we're going to apply together. And the rest is basically history. And the first time we heard from them was, oh my gosh, my goodness, it was so long ago. And I think I actually have it right here, the dates, because I keep book of everything. Yeah, the 16th, no, the 8th of August is when we heard from them for the first time.
All right, so you never had to do the intake questionnaire because you'd already heard from them in August. So you heard from them in August, and then when did you actually fly over here?
I flew on the 13th of January of this year.
Okay, so you sent in the statement of interest in May last year. You heard from them in August, and you came over in January. So even from May, we're talking May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. That's still 9 months after you first contacted them.
Yes, it was a very long time. It felt like forever.
Well, I can imagine when you're hoping to get down the road, it does feel like forever. But whereabouts are you from in South Africa?
In Pretoria, Gauteng.
All right, so you came from there. So I'm guessing for you, it was a lot less inconvenient to go to your interviews and your medical screenings than it was for some of the folks from PE or somewhere like that.
Definitely. A lot of the places, they were really close by, like in half an hour or something away. So the travel for us was not that difficult.
Okay, and your mom, where's she at?
She's still in South Africa. She's still waiting.
So your mom applied with you. Your dad was a separate application. He's here. You're here. Your mom's in South Africa. Who did she piss off?
I don't know. We think maybe it's because she's still working for the government currently, so we think maybe that's why they're holding her stuff back a little bit.
Well, I'm not sure that would play a role, but hopefully they can sort that. And her case, is her case at least linked to you? Or, your dad's in California, you're in Iowa. Are we going to send your mom to Florida or Maine?
No, please, no. As far as we know, the last time we had an update from their side is that they told my mother they're gonna move her here to Iowa. They linked our cases after I got here.
Okay, so at 23, that's a bit early in life. Did you already have a career path? Were you already working in something? And if not, have you started something new? Because your dad told me you work like 3 jobs now. That's crazy.
I do. When I was still in South Africa, I was just moving around with jobs. Jobs are so hard to come by in South Africa. But when I got here, it's like all of the jobs, when you go to an interview, they want to sell you basically their business and how things are done. It's so different from South Africa, but because in South Africa, you basically have to sell yourself to the people that are interviewing you. But it's the other way around here. So at the moment, I am working 3 jobs. I work at Amazon, I work at Fairway, and I work for a janitorial job too.
Either they're all paying rather low wages, or you've got plans of being a billionaire like Elon Musk down the road.
No, I just like it to make sure I get through everything with payments and everything, because I'm still not used to working in dollars quite yet. So just want to make sure I make it through a month every month.
Well, that's fair. Was that a big adjustment for you? A lot of people, they keep, and you get people who are trying to detract from the program who keep saying, well, we can never make it. That economy's impossible. Well, 330 million Americans and 40 million criminal alien invaders seem to make it just fine in this country, plus all the refugees that came before you, minus the Somalis who are still in public assistance. But people seem to make it just fine. The thing is, a lot of South Africans want to convert. And my friend who went to Milwaukee bought a burger at Five Guys, and he almost fell out of his chair when he could do the conversion. You can't do the conversion. You don't get paid in rand. You get paid in dollars.
Precisely. I think one of the things people need to remember is when you get here and you're starting earning in dollars and everything, don't change it. Don't try to figure out how much it is in rand. You make yourself crazy about the prices, because you cannot work that way anymore. It's not how it is.
Yeah, what you have to do, Shannon, is you have to look at it from how much money you have available and what can you afford and what's reasonable. I mean, quite frankly, I choke paying $7 for a Frappuccino, but I can't afford it. I'm just frugal, and so I don't do it as often as I used to, because that used to be $3.99. Now it's $7.16, and that's just crazy. So you have to make that adjustment. And is that an adjustment you're starting to make? You've been here for a few months now.
Yes, it's definitely gotten a lot easier. So now I know what prices are. Okay, that's way too much for that, and what's actually an okay price, or that's affordable. I like this price for that. We're starting to figure it out.
So was that an awkward adjustment, or how long did it take you to start to figure it out? A month, 2 months, 3 months? Because I think that's important for people who still try to do this calculation in their head.
No, I think it took me about a month to start getting used to the concept of it, especially when I started working and I started figuring out, because when I started working too for a month, I had to start paying my own groceries and everything too, because the program stopped paying for that. But I told them, shop, I can pay everything myself now. I got it. And that's how I actually basically got a better concept of how much things cost for a living.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the whole thing, teach a man to fish, don't just give him fish. I mean, if they keep giving you food, you'll never get an appreciation for what things cost. And so once you took that responsibility on yourself, you got an appreciation for it.
Precisely, no, definitely. And I feel so bad because the people too that are helping us, our caseworkers and everything, when they had to tell me I had to start paying for my groceries in the start by myself, I was like, I have no problem with that. And they keep apologizing. I think they get the cases where people are like, but why are you going to stop paying for this and that, and so on. But you start working, you have to be self-sufficient eventually. They cannot pay for everything constantly. And I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, pay for everything I need to. That's how we are raised. We have to do that eventually.
Well, I think they're accustomed to having freeloaders. A lot of refugees who come to this country become freeloaders. And to be fair to some of those refugees, some of them it's because of the circumstances. They don't speak the language. It takes time to learn it. They're uncomfortable. They're in an alien environment. But also, to be fair to America, many of these people are freeloaders. They never succeed in the countries they're in. They will never succeed in the countries they came from. And here they're just leeching off the taxpayer. That's a fair percentage of them. Just look at the Somalis. It's an overwhelming number. But that isn't the case for everyone. The Ukrainians are working their butts off. The Congolese work their butts off. But it is a difficult switch. So I'm sure the case officers were accustomed to dealing with refugees who came from places like that. So let's talk a little about your experience with case officers. So were you greeted at the airport? Well, let's go back. So how'd you get here? Did you fly Cape Town or Joburg?
I flew through Joburg. I landed in New York for the first time. That's what the first thing.
At JFK?
Yes.
Okay, haven't heard many people flying JFK. So JFK, and then from there you flew what, to Des Moines?
No, I flew to Chicago, and from Chicago to Des Moines.
And from Des Moines, they put you in a bus and drive you to your destination?
No,
it's kind of far.
the caseworkers put me in a car and they took me here themselves.
Well, how long a drive is that? An hour and a half?
About, yeah, an hour and a half.
All right. So the caseworkers met you at the airport. They took you to temporary accommodation or hotel. And how was that? Was it habitable and safe? And then it looks like you're in a permanent accommodation. And how soon did you get into that? And that looks pretty nice. Other than you stuck in the 1960s, I do see a lava lamp on the shelf behind you. What's that all about?
I needed movement, and I like blue, and I love lava lamps. I do. Yeah. So that's why I got one. I needed other movement besides myself in the house. I know it's strange. But apart from that, the whole experience was when we landed in New York, the caseworkers were there. There were people there that met up with us, and then they gave us our new tickets to our next flights. And so basically they helped me get on the plane to Chicago, but they told me in Chicago I would be by myself. There wouldn't be anybody meeting us or anything. We have to get on our next flight by ourselves. It's like, okay, we can do this, yeah. And then the flight got canceled. And we had no way to get in contact with anybody. So I was so stressed out about that because it's like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. And at least I had some contacts that live here in Iowa, some friends I met, and they contacted their caseworkers, and they contacted the rest of the agency again and said, okay, these people are stuck on the airport, get somebody out there to help them. So then we had to wait like 1 or 2 hours before one of the other caseworkers showed up and helped us with accommodation for that night because it was really snowing outside. So we slept in a very nice hotel that night. And then the next morning we flew out until where we were supposed to be.
Now, I know Chicago, I assume you were at O'Hare. Did you stay at a hotel right there at the airport? That would have been the Hilton.
It was a Hilton hotel, yeah.
Yep, I've stayed in that hotel, but only when I can get a good price. I don't stay there
it's
regularly.
Very nice. I was like, this is a very fancy room. Oh my gosh.
So this is a case of Mbuamak and Plan, even though your surname is not Afrikaans, because rather than panic and freak out, you reached out and you got some help. And you didn't reach out to the colonel. I didn't even know about this. I mean, I've had help people trapped at airports. So, wow. Did your mother give you a hard time about why you didn't reach out to me?
Oh, yeah, I heard 1 or 2 words, but mainly she was just trying to get me calm at that moment because I had a freak out at first. And then after that, okay, let's figure this out. Let's sort this out. So it was crazy that afternoon, but at least we all got to a hotel room safely and then flew out the next morning because one of the things that we didn't know too is that they didn't tell us that we would be more than, I wasn't by myself. There were other South Africans that also were flying to Davenport or Des Moines, but they didn't tell us we were flying together. So basically I felt I was all alone. That's what I thought when I landed in Chicago. I didn't know there was any other South Africans on the airport.
Gosh, that's kind of messed up. Now, that could be a consequence either of people flew from one location to JFK to join your group to go to Chicago, or more likely they were on your flight. It sounds like they did a very good job of picking you up and trying to take care of you, but it sounds to me like the people in New York could have done a slightly better job by bringing all the South Africans together for each flight that was going to Dallas or to Sacramento or to Davenport or to Des Moines and say, hey, listen, you guys are traveling together on this flight. If something happens, stick together. I mean, that's what I would have done. I mean, that's just, but I'm a soldier. We just plan for everything.
No, definitely. I felt the same way. We were on the same flight and everything, but when we had to get to our next flights, it was kind of crazy. We had to run around to make it on time. So maybe that's why they couldn't get us all to get together and then climb on the plane and stick together, even though when we got off the plane. But yeah, we only met up with each other once we were heading to the hotel. That's when we knew, okay, there were like 3 families here on the same airport. That's the only time we knew. There were others.
Gotcha. That makes sense. We'll come back to this story in a moment, but I am curious. I just heard from Ronaldo, who had put a query out to News 24 about why they call this the Afrikaner program. And of course, they still talk about it for farmers. So I'm just curious. I don't see a lot of dirt on your fingernails there. You did mention the farm work that you do. So as an Afrikaner farmer, is it a hard adjustment for you there in Iowa?
No, it's not.
Yeah, so your surname is Tiearney. That doesn't sound very Afrikaans in any respect whatsoever. But we know South Africa, where the English boys link up with the Boermeisie and then they mix up their names. Are you Afrikaans in any background, or are you just one of those Anglo South Africans?
No, the last name is and my name are both Irish names.
Well,
It's
yeah,
the same with my
I got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but as far as I know, I'm fully South African. My last name, my name maybe not be, but I am.
No, but are you Afrikaans? Because that's one of the big arguments. People are like, how come you never have any English speakers on your program? You sound like an English speaker to me.
No, I think it's just the amount of time I've lived here now.
Oh, so you are an Afrikaner then?
I am, yes.
So you just stole the Irish name.
No, I didn't choose my name. My mother and my father choose my name. That wasn't me.
Good response. That's excellent. We'll have a conversation with your father about this at some point.
Definitely.
All right. So your case officer went to Des Moines, picked you up at Des Moines, drove you to Burlington. Did you go to a hotel, to an apartment? Where did you go?
Yes, basically when I landed in Des Moines, the organization, they picked me up and then took me to a hotel in Davenport at first. And I stayed there for about 10 days. It was 10 days. And then I moved to my permanent accommodation here in Burlington.
Okay. Now, I hope that's not the entire apartment. It looks a little small, but you're just one person there, so you don't need a lot of space, although you do need some movement, hence the lava lamp.
Yes, hence the lava lamp. But basically, it's actually bigger than it looks. I do have a room, but I'm gonna move soon, so that's why everything is at the front here. It's easier to get rid of everything.
Now, when you were in South Africa, did you drive? Did you have a driver's license? Do you have any experience driving there?
I do have experience driving there. I do have my driver's license. I did not have my own car. Basically, I just got my license, then I went over here. So now I have to redo everything.
So you don't have a driver's license in Iowa yet?
Not yet. I do have my
Learner's permit?
Yes.
So how are you getting around? Public transportation, hitchhiking, I hope not, bumming rides, what's going on?
So basically here in Burlington there isn't much of public transport options that are reliable. So I Uber when I can. And at the beginning, my caseworker also drove me around. When we needed to go to the shop, she would take us and everything. But when I started working too, I walked because all 3 of my jobs are in walking distance of me. So I just walk to work.
Well, that's excellent. That's really good for your cardiovascular system and for your heart, to keep your heart healthy. That's, a lot of people want to exercise for weight. I always tell them that, your goal with exercise shouldn't be about weight loss or weight gain. It should be about keeping your heart healthy, your sinews, your tendons. I mean, walking's good. I mean, although that's probably not a lot of fun in January in Iowa.
Yeah, it was a little bit tough when it was still that cold, but I got through it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people were surprised. As I was talking to someone that's in Minnesota, and he said, "We love it here." I said, "Yeah, tell me that in December."
Yes. Now, I'm more scared of when I have to drive in the snow for the first time. I'm very scared of that whole situation.
Well, then I think the key thing for you is if you plan on getting a car, is to get that license. The full-time license, the permanent one, and get a car before the cold weather hits, so you get to experience driving on the correct side of the road, because we have to unlearn all your bad habits from South Africa.
No, you're driving on the wrong side of the road. But I have been doing some driving here. One of the other refugee ladies that lives here with me in the same building, we've become friends, and she bought a car a month or something ago. And she's been giving me driver's lessons basically too. When we go to the shops or go to the movies together, she lets me drive.
Well, that's awful nice of her. Interesting. There's other FGs in Burlington. I haven't been hearing from any of them. They're all dead to me.
Just don't say that.
What's that?
Don't say that. Don't say that. They're all just really busy. That's it. It's really busy. Some people are still trying to get work and they're struggling. Some people are moving to like Iowa City because they found jobs there. So it's been hectic. Everybody's just trying to get through it.
Well, Iowa City has a lot of work, particularly government-related work, because University of Iowa is located there. It's a huge campus with thousands of jobs and well-paying jobs. And it's a place that I did not go to because I used to live in Ames and I taught at Iowa State University. And Iowa and Iowa State do not get along.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So things are going very well in Burlington. What has been the best aspect of this for you?
The best aspect, oh my gosh, I think one of the things that scares me the most, but I love the most, is the no fences and everything. I love it. It's so open, but it's kind of also scary because we're so used to fences being everywhere and bars on the windows. But it's so open here. You feel so relieved in a way. I don't know exactly how to say it, but you feel safer. You just know it's safer.
Well, that's good to hear. That's something we hear frequently. The last interview I did, that wasn't the first thing that came to mind, but most people that tends to be the first thing, the safety and how just in America you can just be yourselves. I remember the Hotzenbergs, when I interviewed them last year up there in Twin Falls, their comment was, before I went up there, is that their kids used to be able to ride their bikes for 50 meters left and 50 meters right, and they would watch them the entire time. Otherwise, they might be snatched or killed. And so here, their kids just go out and they play and they have a good time. And I think for a lot of people, they're shocked just to experience that freedom once again and that safety.
Yeah, precisely. Like when I just moved here to Burlington, some of the other refugees that live here invited me to go out for drinks one night. And we stayed out until like 12, and then we walked home in that time of night. As a group, of course, but you wouldn't do that in South Africa. I wouldn't even dare to walk to work at that stage when I was still in South Africa. But here, I feel safe walking to work during the day.
No, well, during day at night. I mean, unless you're living in an inner city place or somewhere like that, it's pretty. Iowa's a pretty safe, pretty nice place. It's interesting though, Iowa. I think I've said this on the air before. I don't know if you heard it. When I taught at Iowa State, I had students from Minnesota, and they asked me about Iowa, and I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, you know what it stands for." I said, "Yeah, it's a Sioux word. It's something to do with the river." No. And I looked puzzled. Then my Iowa students started rolling their eyes because it was after class. They came up to ask me questions at the front of the classroom. And I said, "So what does it mean?" They said, "Well, it's an acronym. It stands for idiots out walking around."
I did not know that. Oh my goodness. That's very interesting. That's good to know.
Well, it's interesting because America has these little state rivalries that people don't talk about very often, but if you're in them, you know about it. Mm-hmm. So Ohio and West Virginia, Maryland and Pennsylvania, Iowa and Minnesota. It's, and usually one side considers the other to be country bumpkins or kind of backward and that sort of thing. So what were you doing in Pretoria before you came over? Because you were at least 22 when you left.
No, I was working in an ice cream shop. That's what I was doing for that time because finding jobs, and of course you already know this, is very difficult for us in South Africa. So any job I could get, I got it and I hold on to it. So I was working there for a few months before I moved here.
Well, not to be too nosy, but to just give people a comparison here. I'm going to guess that what you made in salary or hourly wages there is a complete joke compared to even your lowest paying job in Iowa.
Definitely. By far, definitely. The pay is so much better. I cannot even explain it. It's like, Yeah, I don't know. I should have moved here a long time ago. When I just got out of school, I should have moved here already.
Well, there was no refugee program to come then, so it would have been difficult for you to get over here with a visa.
Definitely. No, definitely.
All right, so Shannon, what was the most frustrating thing about the program for you? I'm going to guess it might have been the wait. It was 9 months. For most people, that's what it is. But other people, they talk about the lack of communication from the U.S. government or Church World Service and RSC. Some people complain about the process being interviewed and immunizations, although we don't hear that very often. But what was the most frustrating thing for you, other than the little panic you had there in Chicago at O'Hare when you were kind of left to your own devices?
I would say the most frustrating thing for me was the communication. There wasn't much of it. The wait, I was okay with it. I was like, go on as if you never applied for it or anything. If you're not waiting for an answer, go on with your normal daily lives. That's basically what I decided to do. But the no communication, that was the main thing that bothered me. Yeah.
All right, so your mom was a viewer and still is a viewer, and I frequently forget who your mom is until I see her mention it again. But did you ever watch my program? Because you mentioned your mom watched it.
I did. I did, yes. I've watched every time. Sometimes when you went live, I would watch it with her. That's mainly how I know about you, is through my parents.
Okay, well, that's one. I ask each viewer to get 3 people to subscribe. So between your parents, they owe me 5.5 subscribers.
No, I believe there are a few people here that are watching today that my parents told about. I'm going on live with you today. So there are a few people probably here that know me.
All right, cool beans. So your work, do you feel more valued in your work here, or did you feel more valued working in South Africa?
No, I feel more valued here by far. Everybody's so nice. That's one of the things I'm not quite used to. Everybody's so nice. People make jokes, and the environment is just very uplifting constantly. It doesn't feel almost like you're working.
Well, maybe we need to make work harder then.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with this whole situation. I love it. But definitely, because also since I let my boss know yesterday at Fairway, I'm going to be moving soon, and he tried everything in his power to keep me from leaving. That's the first time that's ever happened to me in a place where I work. They beg me to stay. I'm not used to that.
So Shannon, you're moving to another location. Is it for a better or larger place or a better neighborhood? And as a consequence, because everything's in walking distance now, you're going to have to leave at least one of your positions, this sounds like?
I'm moving to California to where my father is.
Oh, so you're giving up all 3 jobs.
I'm giving up all 3 jobs, unfortunately. But with the Amazon job, hopefully I can find a position there. I'm just going to ask them to move me that side because there is a warehouse there.
Okay, so folks, I have to do really quickly here just for the audience. Shannon, I've turned the camera off. Nobody's listening now. If something's wrong, just blink really fast for me, okay? I mean, did you fall down? Did you get a hematoma? Why in the world are you moving to California?
My father is there. That's where I'm going.
Well, tell him to come to Iowa. It's much nicer.
He cannot at this stage. And I'm done living alone. It sucks. I want to be with my family.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you're moving to California. Okay. All right. Well, so hopefully you've been banking some money there before you leave. And so that begs the question. You're in an apartment. All these people complain and moan about, I'm trapped. I can't go anywhere. I'm in a year lease. And I say, that's not how it works. There are ways to opt out of your lease. What's the situation there? Are you going to have to lose your deposit? And do you have to pay 1 or 2 months rent to get out of your lease, or are they just letting you out?
No, basically the contract I signed was for 3 months, and that's over with. And since then, I'm living month to monthly now. So I just gave my 30-day notice, and I can move out after that. I will receive my deposit back and everything after I move out.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Well, I should think you get your deposit back. It looks like you've taken care of the place. But you've got some things there. What's the plan? Are you going to get your license and rent a vehicle, U-Haul, and drive across the country? Or, how are you going to get that TV and that lava lamp to California?
The TV and everything I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna get rid of it, and the things like the couches or whatever that cannot be sold or I cannot sell beforehand, I'm gonna give the rest back to the refugee programs, or for other families that come over, they can give it to them for their apartments.
Well, that's very kind and generous of you. This is not a small thing. I realize that you're lonely out there in Iowa. I appreciate that. I mean, there's probably more cows than there are people floating around, so that's kind of a challenge. But wow, it's a big deal. So there we have an exclusive. We broke the story that Shannon's moving to California. Is your dad excited?
Oh, very, very, very excited. But I'm too. Even my mother, she said, yes, go for it, because nothing is holding me down at this stage. I think it will be fun to see more. Just because I've been put here by the program does not mean I have to stay here. I can move a little bit around.
Well, that's the thing. You have the freedom. So at this stage, then, your refugee agency, now I'm going to offer you some advice here. I don't know if they've said they're finished with you or what their deal is, but these agencies get paid to have you on their books for 5 years, and they're supposed to provide other assistance, and you might want some of that assistance later on, maybe with help with a resume or maybe with your green card when it's time. Have you approached your agency to ask to transfer your case to someone in California, or is that something you've not paid attention to?
I wouldn't say I've paid much attention to it, but they said they're gonna send me the papers that is basically writing me off from the support and everything. So I think they're done it with me mostly at this stage, because the rent and everything, I'm paying all that now, and they don't really help me get around anymore or anything. So at this stage, I think I'm mostly doing everything by myself.
But see, that's an important distinction, Shannon, that I think people don't understand. And I try to make a point is that these refugee agencies are still getting paid. They get money. Their funding, which is much more than your assistance, gets to them based on the refugees they provide support to. For instance, the case officer in Harrisburg has 38 cases. Some of them are 5 years old. Now, the government doesn't pay them any money after 5 years, but they're supposed to provide support for you. But if you opt out of the refugee program, which is what it sounds like they're doing, then that means that you don't get that support. Now, they're not going to get money anymore, but when it comes time to get your green card, you're going to need help with that, and you need a refugee agency for that. So I'm just saying be cautious and ask them about transferring it. And if they say there's no money, say, I know that. You've exhausted my grant money, but you're still getting paid to provide services like language, cultural, and resume and job seeking, and I want to be transferred to an agency in California. I'm just making a suggestion, because I don't want you to get to January and then you're like, oh, I have to hire a lawyer, because you don't have to hire a lawyer.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's something I will consider. I will start speaking to my caseworker. She's a very nice person, so I'm sure she'll help me out with that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, just be careful there. So it sounds like you even though you're on your own, and maybe because you're on your own, you've been a go-getter. You went out, you found work, you got around, you got a place, you bought a lava lamp, you're taking care of yourself, but you're all there by yourself. It's not like you've got a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or anything like that. So you're just moving about on your own, and you've had enough of being on your own. So it's time to get back to family.
Yes, definitely. Look, I do have a fiance, but he's still in South Africa, so that's not going overall well at this stage. I'm here by myself. All my family is split up at the moment. But yeah, if I can go to family, even though I don't really want to move to California because it's California, but I still think it can be quite an adventure.
Oh no! Look, California is unfortunately, fortunately, but I say unfortunately, it's a beautiful place. It's an amazing place with pretty much everything: mountains, beaches, deserts. Almost tropical stuff in the far north. It's amazing. You go to the redwood forest. It's just incredible, and it's just like only about 3% of what there used to be. They wiped most of it out, and still, you can imagine what it must have been like. It is, but unfortunately, it's run by a bunch of lunatics, and that's the problem. But other than that, it's a nice place to visit. I enjoyed living in California, but I lived there over 20 years ago, and I wouldn't go back myself now. In fact, I used to go to the Sevens tournament in Vegas. They moved it to Los Angeles, and I quit going because I can't stand LA. But you're not going to LA. You're going to San Diego area, which really rocks. People love San Diego.
Not San Diego, it's Sacramento.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was San Diego. Oh, Sacramento. Well, Sacramento's, that's the state capital. And it's big farming country around there. Central Valley's just below that. One word of caution. The first time I was in Sacramento, I got out of the car and it was summertime and it was September and it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit, almost 45 degrees Celsius. It was hot. So get ready for that.
Isn't it? We get that in South Africa too in the summertime, so I can deal with that.
Okay, famous last words. But you don't sound like a complainer, so I think it will be the last we hear on the subject from you.
Yeah, I'm not one to complain. I make the best out of the situation, to be honest.
So your fiance has applied for the program as well, and he's just waiting?
Yes, last month he did everything. In 1 month, they did his medicals, all his interviews, everything is done. He's just waiting for his letter of approval and then the travel and the cultural orientation and the flight tickets.
So now this presents another conundrum, Shannon. Did he link his case to yours? And if so, guess where he's going?
No. I talked to the people about his things, and they're moving his case over to California, where my new address is going to be. So because I know already where I'm going to live and I'm giving them the address, they're more likely to take his case easily. That's what the agency I'm with told me.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So I have a question. Do you just carry the foot or do you have live bunny in your house? Because you seem to have a lot of luck.
I think I have a lot of luck.
No, that's not true. You make your own luck. Your preparation and your attitude make all the difference in the world. And then things sometimes seem like they just fall in place. So that's good news. Has that been difficult? I mean, you haven't seen him since January. I assume you must be doing FaceTime or WhatsApp all the time.
Yes, we do that quite frequently, and as soon as I started working and everything, I bought myself a PlayStation 4, and we used to play games with each other all the time, so we're doing that now, too.
Look, I mean, this is a brave new world. This is not the world I grew up in. Girls weren't gamers, you know? I mean, it was just guys who did gaming back in the day, but now it's like half or more of the gamers, and especially some of the really good ones are women. It's amazing.
Yeah, basically I blame it all on my fiance. I didn't play games before I started playing with him, so it's his fault, not mine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so this move to California, will it be soon or is it in the fall? Have you already decided on a date? You don't have to tell us, but I mean, is it near or far?
No. It is near. It's the end of June.
Wow, that is near. That's 1 month away.
Yeah. I'm still deciding if I want to fly over or do I want to fly to Chicago and go from Chicago and take the train all the way? It's a long travel, but I think that could be beautiful to see the scenery.
Well, actually, it is. The northern route across America is amazing. It's a little boring until you get past the plains. But from once you get to the Rocky Mountains, it's an amazing, absolutely gorgeous trip. So I'm not sure which route that runs across the middle through Colorado. It runs across the northern route towards Seattle. But I know people have done the Amtrak, and it's quite lovely. A little pricey, but it's quite lovely. Also, you can relax. You know, you can get up and move around. It's not like being on a plane.
Yeah, precisely. I have my laptop. I can watch movies and everything while I travel. And I just think it would be a nice way to see a little bit more of America, you know?
Well, I agree 100%. I mean, it's one thing to look out the window below you at 33,000 feet and see the tops of mountains and tiny little houses.
Precisely.
It's quite another to be on the train. So, and when we get the opportunity to do this again, you know, once your fiance gets over here, you get life going, you might not have the flexibility, particularly since you won't be working at that stage. So, no, I think that's a good plan. Take the train. Not many people do that.
Yeah, not many people do. And that's why I want to be like, why not? Just do it.
Well, it's pretty awesome. And once you get to California in Sacramento, you're not that far from other parts of the state, and you're close to Northern California, which is really kind of rocks. Northern California is lovely. It's beautiful. You go from San Francisco north, and it's just an amazing state. Not that it isn't beautiful elsewhere, but for some reason I thought your dad was maybe he was moving. That's what I forgot about. But he had been in San Diego. That's right, and he moved. I forgot about that. So, are you looking forward to that? I mean, is that where you're leaning towards the train rather than flying?
I'm leaning more towards the train, yes.
And I think it still goes out of Des Moines. I don't know if you can catch it in Davenport or somewhere like that. I haven't looked.
Okay. I'll check it out a little bit, but at this stage, as far as I know, it goes from California, and then Chicago, all the way to Sacramento. But I think I will check it out a little bit. If it's coming from Des Moines, that would be a lot easier for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure because there were two lines. I think they might have discontinued one of those lines. I'm thinking back to like, almost 30 years ago when people were taking the train. And a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
I don't usually take trains in America. It's just because they're expensive. And anyway, but so I want to go back to something you said a little while ago. Your employer went out of their way to try to retain you. They didn't want to lose you as an employee. That must have been a bit shocking and different for you. I mean, that you're valued so much that they bend over backwards to keep you there.
Yeah, it was very strange for me. I didn't know quite what to do because it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I've never had this experience before. I didn't know actually quite how to respond to that. It's so out of the ordinary for me because I've never had any positive experience like that when telling an employer, okay, I'm gonna leave. So it's quite something else.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's nice to be wanted, and maybe let me ask this question: do you feel wanted or accepted here in America? Because a lot of South Africans, especially coloreds and whites and Indians too, feel like they're not welcome in their own country. But you're not in your own country now, but do you feel welcome here?
I do feel welcome here. No, definitely. Everybody is so interested about knowing how things are in South Africa. Do we have lions as pets? I've had that question before too. They're very interested in about the culture we have. And some people are like, do we have burgers in South Africa? I love it when the Americans ask questions like that. It's so funny. It's like they think we live in huts in the middle of nowhere. I love it.
Well, your response, I tell you, the next time someone asks you whether you have lions, no, but I did have a pet giraffe.
Yeah, I did have a pet giraffe, yeah.
Pull their leg a little bit. Anyway, no, but look, I mean, you have to understand that, and I hate to hurt South Africans' feelings, but I say this all the time. People don't understand this. South Africa doesn't matter. It's not important to Americans and to much of the world. It's a place that people don't know about. They don't pay attention to. I mean, the last time most Americans heard about South Africa was apartheid, and that's been a long time ago.
Yes, that has been a topic that I have people have been asking me about that. It's like, that's all they know. When it comes to South Africa, that's all they know that went on. They didn't know about the Boer War or anything. So it's kind of sad if that's the only thing they have going on for us. That's all they know about us.
Well, it's a fair point.
They don't know about the current circumstances. That's the sad thing.
It's a fair point, but not to put you on the spot. What can you tell me about the Mexican-American War?
I have no idea.
See? Or what about the Louisiana Purchase? See? It's the same sort of thing. People learn the history of where they're at, and unfortunately, South Africa, they're not learning the correct history now. They're getting a highly editorialized version of history, which is not accurate. But yeah, no, it's understandable. But I get it is funny for you. I mean, you're used to electricity, car. Well, when ESCOM works, electricity, but cars when you can get around the potholes. But basically, a first world living that's declining. You're accustomed to that. That's part of your life. And coming here. And people that don't know about where you're from, because they hear Africa, they think that you do live in mud huts and, there are lions running about in your front lawn.
Yeah, I've had people ask me as well, with my accent, people think I'm from Australia for some reason too. I don't know why, but I think I sound Australian.
No, you don't sound even remotely Australian. Those are Americans that aren't accustomed to foreign accents. They just it's not unusual. I mean, that's the thing. Until the First World War, America was a remote place. We were protected by the seas, and other than the British burning Washington in 1812, there were no threats of foreign invasion. The Japanese during World War II attacked the Aleutian Islands and went down the coast, and I think they fired a couple rounds at one of the California cities, but that's it. But the country was isolated geographically from the world by big oceans. And so Americans didn't need to learn about the rest of the world. And that's why many Americans don't speak a second language, because there's no need. But it's surprising that, about 75 million Americans do speak a second language. A lot of people don't realize it. But yeah, but you don't even remotely have, your accent it's even difficult to detect this from South Africa, to be honest.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm
trying to blend in.
Well, there's nothing wrong with blending in. It's something I've had to do my entire life. Yep, that's something I've always had to do. So at work, let me ask you this question. What was the best thing about work? Were you given more responsibility, or was it the pay and benefits? I mean, obviously you must like working, or you just did it to keep yourself busy because, I mean, 3 jobs, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, at this stage, I started taking up more jobs because I don't want to sit at home by myself. You know, if I had a car, it would be different. I would go around, explore and everything, but I was like, okay, I cannot sit at home, so I'm going to start working more. That works for me. Extra money and less time alone at home. But yeah, I have to say there's a lot more responsibility going into it, but everybody helps you learn everything so well that you're not scared you're going to mess anything up.
So I don't know about the other jobs, but with Amazon, I have a feel for what they do. So let me just run through it. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, at Amazon, you're getting your pay, you're getting medical insurance, you're probably getting dental and eye, and they have some other programs. What are some of the benefits you get for working at Amazon?
I have the, what do you call it? The option of getting the dental care and everything, but the pay for that, apart from my salary that I get weekly, it's a little bit too steep for me at this time. And I still have, what do you call it, the medical care and everything from the program. And so at this stage, I'm not looking to take up any of that medical coverage that they offer.
Okay, so you're not getting medical coverage through Amazon. You're getting it still through the program.
Yes.
And I assume you've inquired what happens when you move to California. Do you still have it? Does it transfer with you? Is it through Medicaid, or what is it?
No, it's government issued. I'm not sure. It's with Viewpoint that we have here in Iowa, and then we have Delta Dental, which we also have, but we cannot use it here in Burlington. We have to go all the way to Iowa City or Davenport to get the help we need for dental care.
Well, that's because that's who their providers are. They work out contracts with providers. And if it's a big company, a big insurance company, then they got it more places. Delta is pretty big. I'm surprised they don't have anybody there. But then, Burlington's not a major hub. It's kind of a small town, so to speak.
It is. Yeah, it is. That's why one of the reasons, because when I moved to Davenport and they asked me if I wanted to live in Davenport or I wanted to live in Burlington. Now, I don't like the big city idea of getting used to America and the culture and way of doing things. So that's why I choose Burlington, because it's smaller. I can get used to everything in a more comfortable setting. It's not that busy or, fast moving.
So you're not into the big metropolitan areas. I know you're feeling I'm in a peri-urban area where I've got farm fields, maize and wheat, and even vineyards not too far from me, and then apple orchards and pears and things like that. But I mean, I'm 15, 20 minutes from the state capital. So, I mean, that's kind of what I like. Sounds like that's the same sort of thing we'd be interested in.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, right outside my door, there are corn busy growing, literally outside my door. That's how it is here.
No, that's pretty awesome. So when you get to Sacramento, I hope you realize that you're actually not that far from something that's really, really cool. You probably won't have time right away. You want to get it set up. But if you go just east to the border with Nevada, that's where Lake Tahoe is at.
Yes, that's one of the places I want to visit, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, from where you're at, there's actually quite a lot of stuff to see once you've got a car out there and you move around. Reno, which is one of the gambling centers. Of course, it's not quite as big or as famous as Las Vegas, but not that I'm encouraging you to gamble, but there's other things to do there, shows to go to and such. And then north of Sacramento, you can head over because you're north of San Francisco. Like I said, Northern California. You can head over along the coast and hit the redwoods and things like that. It's just that's a lovely area. And like I say, Northern California is nice. And of course Sacramento is at the top of that Central Valley that runs all the way down to Bakersfield. But I think that even though we diss on California quite a bit, I think that you'll have a good experience out there.
I think so too. I'm gonna make the best out of it. I don't know about anybody else that's going there.
Well, I think for a lot of people, it has an awful lot to do with their agency. But the things that you need from the agency on a daily basis, you've already gone through that and used it and didn't even take advantage of all that. And you seem like you've adjusted quite well to life in America. Your expectations are realistic. Your goals are reasonable. Do you have any regrets about signing up for the program? Because your dad's in California, your mom's in South Africa, your fiance is in South Africa, and you're in Iowa. Any regrets?
No, no regrets. I'm one of those people, I go with the flow, and I know this was the best course of action for me to take, is to do the program. And I don't regret it at all.
Wow. I mean, that's interesting to hear. It sounds, look, Shannon, you sound very well adjusted. And, you know, the reason why we're doing this on Sunday is because you got 3 jobs and your dad said the only time you can do it is on a Sunday. So it must be your one day off. So it's awesome that you just chose to spend your time on a Sunday with me, particularly since it's early morning for you. So other than playing games with your fiance, working your bottom off, you know, at 3 different jobs, are you doing anything else? Have you gotten out and seen anything there? I know there's not a lot to see in Burlington, but I mean, have you gone to pool halls? Are you hanging out at parks, or playing with frisbee? What's going on? Anything else?
I have been to the movies a few times too. I wanted to experience the movies here because I've heard they're really fancy at some places. And I have been to a few of the natural parks here too. That was really interesting. It's so beautiful, all the different plants and everything. I have yet to see all the different type of mushrooms because that would be pretty cool to see too. And I have been to Mississippi a few times, and there is this road in Burlington downtown, that Snake Alley. I have gone there a few times too. I've walked up it and I've ridden down it too by car. So I've been all over a little bit, all the stores, everything.
Well, whatever happens, and however it happened, because you wound up in Iowa and your dad in California, at the end of the day, it sounds to me, and you can correct me if you disagree, that maybe it was for the best, because you had to be yourself and get yourself going and get the gumption to get out there and do things and get your independence. So you've kind of like that bird who's left the nest and you've made your own way. So maybe in the end it was a good thing, although I'm sure it's been a bit lonely in Iowa. But I'm going to say that you're probably much better off for having had this experience going to Iowa.
Definitely, because in South Africa we couldn't afford to live by ourselves. So we lived all together. I never left the house to live by myself ever. Once I was moving out of the house in South Africa, I was still living with my fiance and one of his friends. That's the only way we could afford to pay for everything. But here I finally got to experience what it's like to have my own place and having to have the responsibility to pay for everything. If something doesn't get paid, that's your fault. Nobody else's and anything. And I always wanted to experience that whole thing of living by myself, having to do everything, making a place your own too. I loved the whole experience. I loved it, to get that independence.
So, sometimes young adults who struggle, I've met many over the years, and I look at them and say, hey, listen, adulting isn't as easy as you think it is. But it sounds like it may not be easy, but you took on the challenge head on.
Definitely. That's how I was raised. So that's the only way to go.
Well, what about your parents? I mean, are they proud of what you've achieved so far there? I mean, like if you were my daughter, I'd be like pretty chuffed. I mean, it sounds like she's doing well. I mean, I realize again that you're on your own. And I think that's the impressive part about this, is that you didn't come with an entitled attitude. You didn't come with a pissy attitude. You didn't come with a woe is me. Why am I stuck here? You just went about your business and said, let's get this done. You made a plan. Like I said before, in Boer maak 'n plan, maybe in Boer meisie maak 'n plan too.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. But as far as I know, my parents are really proud of me for being able to do all of this by myself and how far I have come with the jobs and the place of my own and everything.
What about yourself, Shannon? I mean, look, I know pride is a sin, supposedly, but I mean, do you have are you a little bit proud of yourself? I mean, did you think you're going to be able to do this, or did you surprise yourself?
There wasn't much of, I can do this type of thing. I was more like, I'm just going to go with it and we'll take it head on. That's the only way I was thinking of doing it. If I could do it or not, that wasn't an option. I had to do it. I have to. I didn't say I can. I said I have to. That was the only way I could do anything.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think that's a great approach. So let me ask a little bit about the process. When you went for your interviews, was it all just a bunch of whiteys, or were there some color folks and Indians that are also processing at any stage you went through this program?
There were a few Indians, yes, and I think there were some coloreds as well that went for the interviews and everything. Yes, we were not all just white people, like people say.
So when you leave Iowa, your neighbors, the lady that's been letting you drive her car, I mean, I guess you've become friends. Are you going to miss your Iowa friends?
Oh, definitely, but everybody's moving out of Burlington, so everybody's going to start doing their own things. Look, we will not lose contact or anything. We'll still have contact, but yeah, we all have to do our own things at this stage.
Well, once they get somewhere else, tell them they can feel free to do an interview. Now that they're not busy in Burlington.
Definitely, I'll let them know.
All right, so Shannon, have you looked into how the trains work? Because it sounds like it's something you're aspiring to do, and I'm curious now about when you take your train trip. I mean, look, if you do this train trip, you need to take some pictures of the scenery and the way and send them to me, so that we can take a look at those. But have you looked into it and the price and all that? Because you might have to work a fourth job to pay for that train ticket.
Okay, so basically, I was checking out the business seats. So it's not your own cabin or anything seats. It's just the one seat. But to get from Chicago all the way to Sacramento stop, it's going to be like $300 and something for that trip.
Is that all? $300?
Mm-hmm. Because I want to book it so
far in advance
beforehand. It's that price, yes.
No wonder Amtrak is going bankrupt. $300, man. I mean, last time I checked, it was like $1,000 to take a trip from Iowa to Seattle. That's wow. Maybe we're subsidizing this program. Maybe I need to take a close look at the train. I think I paid like $100 and some for a train trip from Harrisburg to New York City, which is nothing. You're going all the way across the country. Yeah. Wow, I'm gonna have to check into that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because as far as I know, the only price that goes over $1,000 is the having your own cabin option.
Oh, that's what it is. I've become too soft and I need a cabin. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what have we not talked about? Is there any topics that you want to share with people that we haven't gone over, or maybe some ideas or advice? All these people want to come with 35 suitcases, and I'm like, no. In the last interview we had, they're like, no. Just bring, your mementos, the things that you can't replace, because you can buy all the clothes and all the electronics here. I mean, if you've got a laptop, bring that. But, people are like, I'm going to bring my PC. Not just strip the hard drive out of your PC and your RAM and bring that and leave the computer behind.
Yeah, but the best advice going forth with packing advice, I would say pack everything. And then from there on, start checking out. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. That's the only thing you can do. That's the best way to go about it. That's how I did it. That's how my father did it. That's how my stepmother did it. It's the only way to do it. That's the best advice.
No, that's pretty good advice. So Faithful Farmer, who's one of our resident people on the left side of the political spectrum, who we like and respect because she's not a crazy lunatic like most lefties are. She wants me to say welcome to America and hope you find peace and prosperity, and God bless you. So I think that's a sentiment a lot of people are sharing.
I appreciate that. It's nice to hear people say things like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. We haven't had, not everyone's had great experiences. Someone verbally accosted Veroshka in a hallway, but the person that did it's just a jerk. He could have done that to anybody. Would have done it to an American. It wasn't just because she was South African. It's just an excuse. But beyond that, most people have found the welcome here amazing. What about the shopping? I know you're not in a major area, but compare the shopping with South Africa. I mean, are you a shopper or no?
I wasn't.
Uh-oh.
No, the options, the shops, what's in the shops, especially since I discovered Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's still a few $100s from me. I'm not gonna even try to cover for myself. No, the shops are it's so big and there's so many options and everything, and the style of housing and furniture and everything I've always wanted. and cutlery and everything. So they have the options I've been looking for my entire life. So yeah, I've become a shopper since I moved here. I wasn't before, but yeah.
No, it's amazing. So, for instance, Veroshka likes to do. She makes beads and things. She has these hobbies. So, not Hobby Lobby, but Michael's. Michael's is a craft shop, and it's major. And so, boy, she was excited when she went there. I showed her around and gave her a tour. But quite frankly, that stuff's kind of boring for me. But I showed her around. She was like really impressed. So she went back and I think spent a few hours there one day just doing a little bit of shopping, which is pretty cool.
I think the longest time I've spent in the Hobby Lobby is about 3 hours. We don't have a Michael's in Burlington, but when I get to Sacramento, I plan on going. Yeah.
There you go. So, all right, be careful though. Again, here's some advice: pay yourself first. Put some money in the bank. Then go spend things. So, there's someone here in the chat. It says Marie, like Marie.
Marie.
Yeah,
Marie,
she says,
yeah.
I'm going to miss Shannon. I'm so proud of her being so young and doing all this. Is this one of your neighbors there or someone from South Africa?
That is the other lady that's helping me doing driver's lessons with her car and everything.
Ah,
Yes.
that's the one who's not giving me an interview. No, I'm just teasing about the interviews, guys. Anyway, but yeah, so let me just, you sound like a person that will listen to advice. Can I offer some advice?
Definitely.
All right. Okay. And I offer this to all the folks. Remember in America that you're not a person without a social security number. You've got that already, correct?
Yes.
And you got your EAD.
Yes.
Okay. I don't need one of those because I'm an American, but
Of course.
I do have social security number. So the other thing, you're not anybody unless you have a credit score. So you realize that, right? You have to have a good credit score.
Yes. I have a credit account, a bank account, and I bought a phone this way. I'm paying it off every month to build up my credit score.
Okay.
And I've got internet as well. I'm paying that every month to build up this credit score because I cannot do anything without it.
Yeah, exactly. And you realize that. Appreciate that. So that's where I was going with this. Now, a lot of people fall in the trap, and I'm not criticizing people, but I went to a recent event with South Africans, and somebody had a Tesla, somebody had a Camaro, somebody had a Dodge Ram Bucky, and I'm driving an 11-year-old Chrysler sedan that I wish was brand new. My point here is that be careful with credit. You need credit. You need a credit score so you can get credit. And the reason you want credit is because here's a couple things. You'll get lower insurance rates. People don't realize that. So for car insurance, if you have a good credit history of paying on time and your score is high, you're going to get lower rates for insurance. And that can make a huge difference. In addition, when you need money, if you need money to buy a house, to make a mortgage, if you need money to buy a car, if you have a high credit score, you're going to get a much better interest rate than other people. And the difference between 3 and 4% interest rate is huge. It could be hundreds of dollars a month more, just 1% higher. And people don't realize that. So that's important to build your score. So always pay your bills on time and your utilities, your credit card. And if you've got a credit card or when you get one, my recommendation to you is to use it as a charge card. What I mean by charge card is you go to the store, you purchase something, it's on credit, but then you get 21-day grace period. When the bill is cut, pay that in those 21 days, pay it off in full, and then you don't pick up any interest charges. And then that builds your credit. All of that makes a difference. So that's important. And if you get to California, if you fall back into the habit of living at home with your parents, then make sure that you keep some things in your name so you keep your credit score building, okay?
Yes, no, definitely. The whole point of going is to be with my family. But as soon as I start working, I'm going to try to get a car, try to maybe attempt to buy a car cash if possible. But after that, I want to save up to be able to pay the deposit, and then I'm going to move back into my own place, just there. That's it all.
Okay, good. That sounds like a plan. No, look, I'm not trying to, tell you how to suck eggs or how to live your life, but I mean, I think it's good advice. It's worked very well for me over the years. Some people listen, some people don't. So, but if you don't offer it, then I think if you know a better way to do things, and you don't share it with people, then that's just being selfish. And I'm just trying to share it with you.
Precisely. No, I agree with that statement.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's we can sit here and chat all day, but this is your only day off, and I don't want to take your whole time up. And I think people are mesmerized by the lava lamp now. They're still looking at the lava lamp. But let me just. That's what I wanted to ask. If this is deeply personal, you don't have to share it. I'm a person that doesn't like tattoos, but I noticed you've got a tattoo in your forearm. Can we talk about that, or is that private?
No, we can talk about it.
All right, so what's that all about?
Okay, so this tattoo I designed it myself. I did the drawing for it, and then I just let somebody put it on for me. But basically, this tattoo tells a story about how I got through a really tough time in my life, and that's how I survived it. And I wear it as a badge of honor.
Okay, well, I'm not going to ask any more questions about it because it sounds like it's deeply personal. But yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, South Africans love tattoos. I saw a video recently on YouTube where someone said that because I'm in what's called the Jones generation. I'm a baby boomer, but not a baby boomer. I'm a Gen X, but not a Gen X because I'm
You're
literally
in between. You're in
right,
between.
right. Literally the week that it shifts from baby boomer to Gen X, that's when I was born, just a few days before it. So I'm technically a baby boomer, but so they call that the Jones generation. And apparently, a lot of people in that group, they say from 1960 to 70 time frame. I guess that's about right. Yeah, 56 to 69. Those in that time frame, most don't have tattoos anywhere in their body. And we stand out compared to the Gen Y and the millennials, and also people came before us. We just don't have it. And it was interesting to watch this video about why we don't have tattoos. So for you, that was a personal reason. But I mean, is some people just get carried away. The next thing you know, they're here, they're everywhere.
No, I didn't. I'm not one of those people that support just, oh, I'm getting this tattoo. That looks awesome. No, if you get a tattoo, it has to mean something to you. That's the only reason why you should get a tattoo. It has to have a personal meaning. That's how I think it should be. Not
Well,
to just get a tattoo because it looks cool.
well, I think a lot of those people have a lot of those tattoos say they're all personal meanings, but well, you've at least got on your forearm, which is going to stay pretty consistent throughout your life, even when you get older. But the people who get them, ladies get them here, and yeah, yeah. Oh, is there one there? Did I see? Oh, you got another one.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right.
A
Okay.
little Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, but that's a little bit higher. I'm talking about a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Because in life, I mean, not to be crude, but in life, gravity does take effect at some point. So,
Yes, it does. No, I agree. It does. It does. Choose wisely where you get it placed, please. Choose
exactly.
wisely.
It's like all the men and women who got these barbed wire tattoos up here in the 1980s and 90s, and it's all down here now. And it's just like I'll have a sag in the middle. I'm like, oh gosh, what were you
Yes,
thinking?
I don't know. That looks terrible.
So you're a Winnie the Pooh fan.
I am. Yes.
Have you noticed on my shelf recently that I've got Winnie the Pooh and I've also got Tigger back there on my shelf?
Yes. Tigger was always my favorite character.
Okay.
I'm a big Tigger because he basically represents ADHD, and I'm an ADHD person myself. I have ADHD, so that works for me.
You have ADHD. I would not have guessed it from our conversation. You've been point on the whole
Really?
time. Yes.
Yeah, I have ADHD.
Wow.
I was diagnosed when I was really young.
So, this is the century anniversary of the creation of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Piglet. This is 100 years. That's why I have them on my shelf.
Yes. Yeah, I was also so fascinated. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how quickly. I mean, I think is that even older, or it's about the same age as Mickey Mouse, so around the same time frame. So yeah,
It is,
so that's
yeah.
pretty wild. I'm not a Disney fan per se, but I am a Disney shareholder. That interest, full disclosure, a few shares in that.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
very cool.
yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to give you a chance to get your final comments in here. What I'd like for you to do, Shannon, is if you want to encourage or discourage people, or you want to give them advice about the program, whether they should do it, they shouldn't do it, and what it's like in your experiences with your case officers, all that wrapped up. You can take as long as you like, but I'm going to give the floor to you. The floor is yours. I'm just going to sit back and listen. I'll try not to interrupt, but if you say something really interesting, I might interrupt, but I'm going to try to just let you have the floor. So why don't you just share with us any thoughts about your experience or about becoming a refugee? Because I can see that there's no view in your eyes that it's shameful, or that it's dishonest, or that it betrays anything. I think that you've got the right attitude toward it. It's for people who are suffering unjustly. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that just South Africa isn't really that safe of a place to live anymore. And why do you want to stay in a country that the people won't take care of you? Our people don't want to take care of us anymore. They don't care about us. So why would you want to live in a country where you fear for your lives your children's lives. You don't know when the bad things are going to start happening, war is going to start. You don't know when it's going to happen. I'd rather live a life in a country that's very welcoming and know I'll be safe and be able to live freely with a positive attitude, not worrying about war is going to break out tomorrow or people are going to be rude to me just because of the way I look too. So if you're feeling like guilty about it, I understand that. I felt guilty at first too. But when I started living my life here, started working and everything and having my contacts still with people in South Africa, you don't have to feel guilty. There's no shame in it, really. No shame.
Well, Shannon, that's good comments and advice for folks. And you also gave comments along the way talking about, backing and other things that were important to folks. I want to thank you for your time. And then I'm just going to take this opportunity to chastise your dad because we haven't done an interview with him, but he sent you out to the wolves to be interviewed by me. So
He's next. He has to be next. It's his turn now.
There you go. Anyway, Shannon, thank you so much for spending your Sunday with us. We really appreciate it. And it sounds like you're doing well. But seriously, when you sort out the train and you go across, if that's how you do it, I'd love to see, particularly when you get to the Rockies, take some pictures. And please don't be an Instagrammer. Don't send me a portrait photo. Send me a landscape, okay? You get more of the country.
I'll do landscape.
Okay, all right.
I'll do landscape,
okay.
Yeah.
It's people always the portrait. It's such a rookie mistake. Anyway, all right. So with that, I'm going to wish you a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll let you get back to your planning and your plotting for your move to California.
Thank you.
There is still some gold out there in California, real gold actually, and actually golden opportunities. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You as well. And Vanessa says, awesome, my baby, mama by tots. Love you. There you go.
Love you too.
All right. Okay, I'll put you in the waiting room and let you drop off there. Here we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was Shannon Tiearney from Burlington, Iowa, our latest refugee interview. This is a young lady who clearly has grasped the nettle and has taken it for all that she can. And she's got no complaints. She works her tail off. She's making a difference in her life. She's very happy, and she's not complaining or glum about how her family's separated. She made a plan. I know it's an Irish name, Shannon Tiearney, but Boer Makan Plan or Boer Maisi Makan Plan. And that's what she's done. And that's you gotta, whether you like this program or not, you gotta respect that. That's pretty awesome. And she was still in the nest, so to speak, wasn't out on her own. And then just poof, here she is on her own. And I really like the attitude. It was really amazing. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Not everything is all roses and gardens, but if you take the good with the bad, and then I started to do the Facts of Life song there. I had to stop myself. I almost did a Facts of Life song there for that sitcom back in the 80s, but you just gotta have the right attitude towards things and make the most of it. I really, really do appreciate this interview, and thank you, Utopi and Vanessa, for raising such a responsible young lady, and we wish her the very best. We'll stay in touch with her. And folks, that's going to do it for this one. The news will be up in about 13 minutes, so please feel free to tune into the news. I think I've set it up so that you go there automatically. I better go back and check because I don't recall if I did that. Wouldn't that be a mistake of me not doing that? So let me just double check and see if I've got it there set. No, I did. No, it is redirected. So the news will be up here in just a few minutes. So give me a few minutes break and come back, enjoy the news with me. And we will be doing a Cafe Clutch for refugees this afternoon after Ronaldo's program. So thanks for being here. All right. And my thanks to my guest who was just epic, like all my guests. Fantastic. So thank you so much for that. And that's going to do it for the show for today, folks. All the best. Be sure to hit that like button. We've got about 343 likes and 528 people here. If you didn't like this interview, you're just a sour person. I'll tell you that right now. You're just a sour person. Lovely young lady. So hit that like button if you don't mind, and we'll see you later. I realize some people can't find the like button on their mobiles, but, go ahead and hit that like button if you can. All right, cheers. We'll see you shortly for the news, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.